and welcome to my channel. My name is LaCherie, and normally here we do mom life, wife life, cleaning, shopping hauls, those kind of things. But today I'm gonna get a little bit personal on this vlog. And I struggle with that because I'm not a very open person, even with my friends and family, about things that I go through and experience. But I just thought that I would make this vlog, and maybe someone out there is experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing and can give me some insight. We can give each other some insight on this roller coaster called life. So I have been going back and forth with emotions and feeling bored and what's my purpose in life and all those things. And so last night I went and had a session with Dr. Google. And I asked myself, I'm questioning now, am I having a midlife crisis? I had been thinking that I was suffering from depression because I do have a family history of mental health issues and depression and anxiety and things like that. And so I had been thinking that I was suffering from depression, not having interest in things that I normally have interest in and things like that. So it's like, is it depression? Do I need medicine? Do I need therapy? And then the midlife crisis thing kind of went off like a bulb in my head. And I know what you're thinking. You don't look old enough to be going through a midlife crisis. Oh, thank you, thank you. However, doing my research with Dr. Google, I learned that midlife crisis can start from between 40 and 60. And I am 44 years old. I'll be 45 in a few months. So even though I'm pretty much on the early end of the spectrum, when I look up a lot of the symptoms of midlife crisis, feeling sad, lack of confidence, feeling bored, loss of meaning or purpose in life, feeling unfulfilled, feeling nostalgia, excessively thinking about the past. And I don't excessively think about the past other than questioning, the things that used to make me happy and used to make me feel fulfilled. I think that's the only thing about the past that I think about, just trying to look back and remember, before I started feeling everything that I'm feeling now. Making impulse actions. If you call impulse buying, then that's probably it. I have a room full of what must have been more of a hobby than crafting, which is shopping for craft supplies, because I have tons of craft supplies that I'm not using, boxes of wood that I was going to make signs out of. I did wreaths. I have a Cricut that my husband bought me for, I think, my birthday a few years back, that I absolutely loved, and I don't even like doing that anymore. Sewing. I've done prom dresses. I've made some dresses for myself. I don't want to sew. Impulsively buying paparazzi jewelry. I have tons and tons of paparazzi jewelry, brand new, that I don't even wear because I just keep buying and buying, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not using it. So that seems to hit that one too. Constantly comparing yourself to others. I don't really compare myself to others that I can think of, because I'm not worried about what other people are doing or what is making other people happy or being fulfilled. I just want to find me and what's going to do that for me. Feelings of regret. I guess that's another one that I really don't feel like, because I don't regret anything in life. I actually feel like I have had a pretty amazing life. I have a wonderful, amazing husband. I have 4 beautiful children. My adult children never gave me any problems, like none whatsoever. They are both successful in their own right. My 2 younger children don't give any problems. I guess the one thing about motherhood, because I've always been a helicopter mother, the kind of parent that don't like for my kids to go anywhere, even when the older 2 were younger, unless it was my mom's. That was about the only place that they could go, and they had a very few friends that they could go if I knew their parents very well. So that's about the only part of motherhood, is being that kind of mother that you never let your children go anywhere. That means you never get a break either. But I love being a mother. So yeah, I would say that my entire adulthood, I have been a parent. Since my son actually graduated with me, because I was pregnant with him when I graduated high school. So, and on top of that, I am the oldest sibling in my house. So even before having my own children, I feel like from as far as I can remember, I have been responsible for other humans, responsible for taking care of someone else. And it's like that has become my identity, the caretaker, the one who takes care of everybody and everything except for me. So, you know, that could be depression, that could be midlife crisis. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. So before I really even knew who I wanted to be, I became a mother. In high school, 12th grade, and you would think by then I should have known whether, what college, what career path I wanted to take, but I really didn't. College wasn't really pushed in my household. My mother actually wanted me to be a singer. So I don't know. I did try college after I had my son, and it just didn't really work out. I needed to be working. I needed to be, the mother instinct, survival instinct kicked in. And at that time, school just didn't seem like a really good idea. I needed to generate income because I never wanted to be one that depended on, government assistance or anything like that. I wanted to work to support my family. And so that's what I did. I went into the workforce when, instead of going to college, or even, it's not like you aspire to be a cashier or anything like that. It's closest to coming to a career along the way is when I became a pharmacy technician, and working in the pharmacy world and things like that. And that's what has led me to the career that I am in now, which is pretty good. Financially, it's a pretty good career, especially for someone without a degree or anything like that. So that's another aspect where it's not like that would be depressing to me. I don't know if I can really feel fulfilled in the job, but it's a good income. It pays bills. And so I was a single mom for 14 years before I met my husband. When I met my husband, my older 2 were teenagers. I think Eric was 14 and Tia was maybe 12, 13, 12. Yeah, I think 12 when we met. And then I met my husband and got married, and we had 2 other children. So then I became a mother to teenagers and toddlers at the same time, which is 2 completely different parenting techniques, to say the least. You're parenting teenagers and then you're parenting toddlers. And so And I don't know if over the last 26 years, because I've been a mother 26 years, if I have been so consumed and wrapped up in being a mother that I never really paid attention to what would interest me outside of being a mother, especially when, again, I'm approaching the years when my younger two, before I know it, just like before I knew it, the older two were grown and out on their own. Before we know it, these younger two will be out on their own. And I don't know. I don't know what's next. Like, what do I want to do with myself? What is my purpose? Was my purpose just to be a mother, just to be a caretaker, helping take care of my mom? I helped my sister raise my niece and nephews. Like, is that it? Not saying that that's not enough, because once again, I love being a mother. It just, I mean, at some point, certain aspects of motherhood, I mean, you always be there for your children, but if you're doing it right, it becomes a point when they don't need you anymore. So when your kids don't need you anymore, then what do you do when your life has been built on the needs of your children? I would say that over the past 5 years, I've had some back-to-back traumatic experiences that could possibly be contributing to everything. My husband would probably say it all started when my son left for basic training, because I did not want my son to join the military. I'm glad that he did. He's very happy in that field, but as a mom of your only son deciding to join the military, it was very hard for me. And when he left for the Air Force, in those 8 weeks that he was in basic training, was probably some of the hardest times that I can remember in life. A lot of crying, a lot of stressing, a lot of worrying, just not being able to, because I'm very close to my children and I talk to them almost daily, especially at that point when he left. I was used to talking to him and even seeing him every day, and then to send him off to the military and be gone with, basically no communication other than letters. In this day and age, letters being the only communication for 8 weeks, that was pretty. I know I went through something, depression or something, because it was hard. And then after he finished basic training and went off overseas, his first duty station was overseas. And so while I was still getting used to him being gone and him being overseas, my cousin, who was like a sister to me, my crafting buddy, anything I wanted to do, I would have to call and ask her for it. It was almost like, I don't know, we were just like sisters. And she had a stroke in, I guess it's got to be going on 5 years now, because I think that was in 2019, 4 years. I'm pretty sure it's the 2019 in May, right after Mother's Day. And she did recover from the stroke, but she's not verbal. And then like months after that, I would say, that happened in May, and then in December, we lost my aunt unexpectedly, and that was my mother's oldest sister, who helped raise my mom. And it was just like growing up, my mom has 2 sisters. It was just like we had 3 moms, because my aunt helped raise her, and my other aunt in turn, she helped raise us. We, all of us, all of their children grew up more as siblings rather than cousins because we were all so close. And so losing her was really super hard for everybody because she was like the family matriarch and what kept everybody together, especially since my grandmother had been gone for some years now. So losing her was really hard. And then not quite 2 years after that, we lost her son, which was my favorite cousin. And losing him has been the hardest death I've ever dealt with. And I lost my dad when I was 14, and I thought that was hard. And it was hard when we lost his mom. But losing him, it's just been hard. So all of those things, I would say, probably was the beginning of realizing that life was changing. It's never going to be the same again. Adult children going off and doing other things in the world and not needing mom as much, and losing close family members that, you've always leaned on, and you question not only why them and not you, but you realize that it could have been you. It could have been me that had the stroke. It could have been me that died like my cousin did, because we were 1 year apart, and we had been together as long as I can remember. He's always been there because he was 1 year older than me. So, all of those things could lead to depression or anxiety, or, those lists of things that are symptoms of midlife crisis, or it could all just be coincidental because I just happened to be 44 years old and starting to experience these things. But I don't know anyone personally that is experiencing it, or maybe if they are, they just don't share it because, people don't share some things. I'm surprised I'm sharing these things, but maybe somebody else out there feels like me and feels like nobody else is experiencing what they're experiencing, and I am. So hopefully someone else is, and we can help each other get through it, because I'm still trying to figure out, I'm still trying to find myself and decide what my purpose is going forward, because I feel like purposes can change. What was my purpose 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago may not be my purpose now. And so trying to figure all that out and not drive my family insane in the process, especially my husband, and of course, spouses, husbands, men, real men, they are fixers. They want to fix things. So if they see you going through something, they're not going to say it, because men don't express like we do, especially emotions, but deep down that they want to be able to fix it, because they're fixers. That's what my husband is. He's a fixer. If something's going wrong, he's going to find a solution to it. So I don't want to drive him insane in the process. And also, my younger girls, want them to see a happy, vibrant mom, because they go day to day, and I say all the time, I wish I had the innocence that children have. They don't, they're not worried about the world around, all the things that we've gone through and all of that. They're just happy-go-lucky, dancing around, tick-tocking. If I just had an ounce of that, just a little bit of that, it would be great. Their energy too, of course, because they're full of energy. But anyway, so that's my heavy bit on it. Midlife crisis, if that's what it is I'm going through. And I'm sure I'll get through it. And hopefully we'll get through it together. So until the next time, goodbye, my loves. See you next time.